Hello and welcome to Futbol Fridays, but on a Thursday, a little twist to our usual norm here at KBPK. Usually we're joining you on a Friday afternoon or night, but instead it is just Thursday afternoon to finish off conference for Fullerton College as they get set to host Golden West College here on KBPK. I am Ryan Osborn joining you live here on KBPK as we get set for this edition of Futbol Fridays, but on a Thursday on KBPK. Fullerton College enters today with the #1 ranking in the state of California, in addition to the #2 ranking across the United States, as voted on by the coaches poll recently. And Fullerton is going to walk out with Nathan Giles in addition to Mason Gorham, who is going to get the start for the Hornets. They'll also be joined by Cesar Marquez in addition to Kyle Sherman as well, with Jacob McCormick and Hayden Kenny as well, with Aldo Ramirez and Alexis Tamayo. Starting in goal will be Jonathan Ortiz this afternoon for Fullerton College. We'll get to the starting lineup for Golden West in just a couple of moments as we get set for kickoff. Once again, this will be the final matchup of the regular season for Fullerton College, and then they go into the playoffs. There is no waiting around or nervousness for Fullerton in terms of hoping that they get into the playoff. Plain and simple, #1 team in the state of California according to the ranking, and #2 team in the entire nation. They are already in no matter what and have pretty much clinched that for quite some time. Now we're going to give you updates on the scores across the state of California as the day wears on, because there is a lot going on across Southern California that will impact who Fullerton College will play in the first round. We'll get to that more in just a couple of moments as we get set for kickoff here. Once again, Futbol Fridays, but on a Thursday on this edition here on KBPK. Daniel Barragan joined by Sean Allen and Eddie Lopez, Francisco Vieira, Joel Garcia, Diego Piñon, and Weldon Florian are going to start for Golden West College. They'll also be joined by Christopher Loera, in addition to Jesus Melgoza. Adding to them will be Ong Tun and Christopher Solano. Nathan Giles will take the ball to start as Fullerton College gets the ball to start off the first half of play. Mason Gorham is going to loop this over towards the far side over to Aldo. Aldo looking for a teammate. He finds Gorham, and Gorham will reset. Very different lineup than we're used to for Fullerton College here on the final day of regular season competition. As we mentioned for Fullerton, they are not waiting around for a playoff spot. They have already clinched theirs for quite some time. So the Hornets have the liberty to be able to expand their starting rotation here today. This is going to be brought over by Rivera. Rivera looking for a teammate. He's got someone on the near touchline, taken away for a moment, and it will be picked up by Jesus Melgoza. Goes off of a Hornet, and it will go out, and then the throw-in will come up for Golden West College. Fullerton College, I'm sure, will be looking at the final scores from around Southern California once the day is over. They don't have to worry about anything else but their own match during this one, but they do want to see who they're going to end up facing in the first round of the CCCAA playoffs. Remember, the format has changed. It used to be, well, at least going into the last few seasons of play, that it would be more of a 24-team format with 6 teams getting an opening round bye. As this one's looped over towards the middle, it's going to be picked up by Ortiz pretty easily, and he will take over. But that has changed. They go back to a 1-through-16 format. So what that means is 1 plays 16, 2 plays 15, and so on and so on. So Fullerton, looking to stay in the top 2 in Southern California, would play either the 16 or 15 seed, depending on how they finish PowerPoint-wise. Left-hand side, it goes over to Nathan Giles. Giles looking for Kyle Sherman, and he has him. Right-hand side of the offense, Fullerton trying to get past 2. They can't do so successfully. It will be taken back and picked up by Diego Piñon. Piñon, one of the best scorers on this Golden West side. Looking for a little lane over to his left, finds Eddie Lopez along with him. Lopez going to run with Melgoza. That gets poked all the way back, and it will go to this left-hand side, where we'll go out of play. And a throw-in coming up for Fullerton College. From what we are told, if you are a Fullerton College fan, the playoffs should start next Saturday. So just a shade over a week from today. And both Fullerton College and Golden West looking for an opportunity to get themselves into the playoffs. Well, more Golden West than Fullerton. But Fullerton will have some time to be able to settle down, scout, learn who their next opponent is going to be. And they'll get the opportunity to begin a march towards the state championship. Excellent opportunity and chance for this Fullerton College squad, who, as we have followed throughout the entirety of the season, has continued to be one of the best teams in the United States, not just the state of California. Hayden Kenny gets that ball inside, but that will be a foul against Fullerton, and it will be a free kick coming up for Golden West. Right-hand side, near side of the park for Fullerton College. They try and move things forward. They've got Ruben Rivera there with them. Over towards the right into the corner. It's going to be chased. Now down towards the middle. It's delivered, and Sean Allen has to be alive there to be able to poke that away. Golden West will get a throw-in out of all of that. Here on KBPK, it has been a joy to be able to cover this team throughout the season. Kind of watching them go from that Cuyamaca matchup where they were coming off of a few wins, but just narrowly removed from that loss to Richland. Then you see how they played against Cuyamaca, that IVC matchup where they ended up giving up that 3-goal lead, and then you see the rest of conference play. Here's Hayden Kenny. Kenny gets this one away. It's going to be an easy tap-in for Fullerton College. Fullerton gets the goal, a quick turnover for Golden West College, and Hayden Kenny gets another goal to his credit, and Fullerton is off and running with a 1-0 advantage here in the final conference game of this season. So Fullerton on the board with Kenny. This ball goes over towards the left-hand side. 1-0. Fullerton College with the lead and the advantage. You saw just a few moments ago that goal by Hayden Kenny, not exactly the most conventional thing that we have seen in the past. But nonetheless, Hayden Kenny will take it as that ball goes out far side, touchline. Aldo is going to go right past it. And a throw-in coming up as Joel Garcia is going to run over to it. Just a quick turnover. It was just kind of a toss over towards the goalkeeper in Barragan. Barragan went to go and catch up to it, but it took a high hop directly in front of him, and Kenny, all he had to do was just get the toe on it, and he was able to loop it right over top of Barragan, and it was an easy lane right into the goal. He finished it off, made it 1-0 Fullerton College. So about 8 minutes in, that's where we stand, and Hayden Kenny already has a 1-0 advantage for Fullerton. Left-hand side, Fullerton trying to move out the park. Fullerton takes it over, and he'll take it away. Francisco Vieira, who has been the catalyst and star for this Golden West College squad. 12 goals, Couple of assists in there as well. 5'11" sophomore out of Portugal. Vieira is going to step up to this free kick. Right-footed. Little dropper that goes towards the right side of the 6-yard marker, but it will be taken over by Jonathan Ortiz, and Ortiz is able to command it, and that will be the end of the chance there for Golden West College. Fullerton turns it over. Here's Vieira. Vieira wants to go to his right foot, has a lane to it, takes a shot, and that slid away. Nice job by Alexis Tamayo to be able to get back. Here's a shot that ends up going high, wide, and it will go for a goal kick for Fullerton. Jonathan Ortiz says, hey guys, let's slow things down just a shade here. No need to rush, no need to hurry. We've got the 1-0 lead. And Fullerton will end up retreating and going back as the goal kick comes up next. From across Southern California, Saddleback and Santiago Canyon just underway. No score there. Not too much of a playoff implication for Fullerton. As of right now, if the power points remain the same, Fullerton College would actually play a team towards, if I'm not mistaken, like Antelope Valley. At least that's what the latest projection called for. Everything depends on power points in the state of California, and how you're going to end up making the postseason solely relies on those power points, which are a combined overall distinction of who you played, what quality wins you had, and who you had them against as well. If everything stays the same at the moment, Fullerton College would actually have a chance to play another Orange Coast College, or excuse me, Orange Empire Conference opponent. The final three in the PowerPoint rankings at this current time are Cerritos, Saddleback, and Golden West. However, that's all going to change. It's Golden West, plain and simple, they need a win to keep themselves assured of a playoff spot. Kind of desperation times for this Rustler squad. So this is taken away by Aldo. Aldo to Kenny. Kenny, nice little one-touch there, looking for a teammate. He's got a guy. Ruben Rivera moving up the park. Now about 20 yards outside the box. He'll drop it back to Sherman, and Fullerton will reset with Nathan Giles. Here's Sherman, maneuvering his way towards the inside. Looking for someone. Fullerton still with it for a moment. They're going to have a deep throw-in coming up. Antelope Valley, LA Mission, Cypress, and Chaffee. Those are the 4 teams battling for at least a final spot in the state rankings in terms of power points to get themselves into the playoff. Each of them needs a win, and they need a little help as well. Again, Saddleback currently sitting at 15. That's who Fullerton would play if it all ended today. If they go strictly according to the power points percentage, as this is floated in towards the inside, it's still inside the box. A chance goes off of 2 Hornets. Another opportunity. Here's Kenny off the left foot. Can't get that to go. Here's Marquez up and high. Goal kick coming up. So much going on, and it ends up with no score for Fullerton College. Nice throw in there by Nathan Giles to get himself an opportunity and his team as well. Up into the air looking for Kenny is Gorham. Kenny can't find it for a second. He also gets charged with a foul. And the whistle will blow and give possession back to Golden West. So again, Antelope Valley, LA Mission, Cypress, and Chaffee. Those are the final 4 who are currently out, looking to the inside. They need some losses from teams directly above them, as this is taken away by Aldo and sent right back the other way towards Hayden Kenny, but it will be taken over by Barragan. Giles pops it down off the head. Near side, it will go out of play. Fullerton's going to get a throw in. They want to work fast. Here's Kyle Sherman. Sherman, he'll get it into Kenny. Kenny turns it over, and it goes off to the awaiting leg of Christopher Solano. Solano, right-hand side with Weldon Florian. Florian looking to his left foot, trying to change sides. Does end up finding Pignon for a moment. Pignon going towards the corner, a chance, and it's intercepted once more. Lucas Chavez, who just came in a few moments ago, trying to get it away from Vieira, and Vieira will see that one cleared away. Kenny, now to Allen, and Allen will bring it all the way back to Barragan. You could hear in the background, Barragan was asking for Sean Allen to just head that one back to him as he was going to grab it and move things up on the right-hand side. Here's Vieira, left hand, goes over towards Pignon. Pignon down towards the corner. That's going to go out, and it will end up being a goal kick for Fullerton, or will it end up being a throw-in? So instead it actually will be a throw-in left-hand side, where Golden West College will have the opportunity to get themselves on the board, and they need to. Again, a loss for Golden West severely kind of hampers their chance to be in the state playoff. They'll keep this in. Now for Chavez. Chavez dispossessed. They'll get it back over to Florian. Florian takes a shot that's blocked away, and it will be sent up into the sky for Kenny. Kenny working against Allen. He's got the initial possession, now moves it off his hip. Kenny still with it. Kenny off his left foot, has a chance. He takes a shot, and that ends up being parried away by Barragan. Beautiful solo effort there by Hayden Kenny, and he got the opportunity to go for goal. Just an excellent save by Barragan as he was able to stay with Kenny the whole way. Allen directly in front of it. Vieira. Tamayo goes into contact. Comes up just a little bit slow afterwards. Now Vieira looking for someone. Slid away nicely as Aldo steps in front of it. The wily sophomore is able to watch his teammates go in front. Quick turnover for the Hornets as they try and counter. Hornets with Tamayo. If he hurries, he's got numbers. Tamayo takes a shot from long range. That's going to go well wide. Goal kick coming up. Irvine Valley and Cypress, they are tied at 0. And actually, we have a new score over at Saddleback and Santiago Canyon. Saddleback with 2 quick goals in 2 minutes. And all of a sudden, the Saddleback Bobcats are leading it 2-0 over Santiago Canyon with 34 minutes left to go in that one. IVC has taken a lead over Cypress. It's 1-0 with about 15 minutes left in the first half there. Cypress needs not only a win in their matchup, but they also need to have teams like Saddleback and or Golden West lose in order for them to have a chance or a path at the playoff. But for right now, they currently trail at 1-0 and are hoping for some help. Orange Coast and Santa Ana. 2-0 Santa Ana in the 31st minute there. Kyle Rosas checks in just a few moments ago. He'll take over on the right-hand side of the offense for Fullerton. Now swung in towards the middle, right past Kenny. He had an opportunity, just ends up missing it, and it will be cleared away. Fullerton College on the attack has been extremely dangerous each and every time they make contact with the ball. However, it's taken away by Jesus Melgoza. Melgoza tries to work against 2. Can't get that one to roll for him, and Sherman has to clear it all the way back. Sherman trying to find Kenny by way of 2, but it will be poked away by Golden West, and the Rustlers will take it. Now Vieira. Vieira has an excellent move to get himself towards the middle. Mason Gorham will take it. Gorham having to watch as Florian tries to work. And he takes it away, pokes it off of Florian. And a nice job there by Mason Gorham to get himself right back into it and keep his attacker directly in front of him and off his hip. 27.5 left to play in the first half between Fullerton College and Golden West. The final game in conference, final game of the regular season. Fullerton College once again will be in the state playoffs starting next week. And we'll have updates on that for you as the days go along, as they will end up finding themselves hosting in the first round of the playoffs and most likely the second round as well. Depending on the way that things reseed, they may even have a chance in the third round, but that will all depend on the out-of-town scoreboard and Fullerton College and how they do today. It's all one big combination of scoreboard watching in addition to taking care of your own business, as the old cliche goes when it comes towards the end of seasons. Here's Giles. Now with Tamayo. Tamayo says, you know what? Our play is a little too choppy. Let's go all the way back to Ortiz, and he does exactly that. Here's Giles. Now with Sherman. They play catch. Here's Tamayo. Tamayo. Right over to Gael Rosas. Rosas. Able to poke this away to Ricardo Michel. Michel tries to find someone right down the middle, but it ends up getting away from Hayden Kenny. Foul call against Kenny. And it will be a free kick coming up for Golden West. On the park for the Hornets. Sean Callahan on the far side, attacking-wise with Hayden Kenny. Also joined by Ricardo Michel, in addition to Gael Rosas. Kyle Sherman, Nathan Giles, Cesar Marquez, Mason Gorham. Skied left-hand side, up for Giles. Giles into the air. Looking for it. And Fullerton takes over. Finishing off that lineup for the Hornets, Aldo Ramirez, Alexis Tamayo, and Jonathan Ortiz. Those are the final three. Hornets will have themselves a free kick here as Sherman is just going to wing this over towards the top of the formation. Shape stays the same. Kenny can't catch up to it as that one hops. Goes directly into the awaiting arms of Barragan. Barragan searching for a teammate. Instead it goes to Kenny. Deflects off of two different people, and it will find its way to Rosas right in front of him, where Rosas will end up seeing this one poked off his foot, and Solano will take charge. Matun. Now with Giles. Tamayo. Marquez looking to run. Marquez now for Rosas. Rosas over towards the left. Can't get that one solidly. It will go now to Marquez. Advantage play to Fullerton College as the pass from Tamayo. It's actually going to be advantage at Golden West, as that will be a foul call against Fullerton and Cesar Marquez. Both guys arrived at the same time. Both Marquez and Diego Piñon. But it ends up being Piñon who gets there just beforehand, and they give him the possession. Three subs coming in for the Hornets. One of them is going to be Evan Courtney and Omar Ruiz as well. Ball onto the left-hand side. Fullerton takes it away with Marquez. Throw-in coming up. Fullerton will bring in their subs, and we'll see who the third person is for the Hornets. It will end up being Juan Luis Quintana. Quintana had himself a goal in the last edition of Futbol Fridays that we had last Friday. Hayden Kenny will take a seat along with Sean Callahan as well. Just a beautiful 1-2-3 tic-tac-toe finish for the Hornets. And he actually gave them a 2-0 lead last week. Mason Gorham takes a couple steps back, liner over towards Aldo. Aldo Ramirez looking for Ruiz. Evan Courtney steps in front of it. Courtney's going to peel back, and he will find someone off to his right in Cesar Marquez. Marquez. Ball intercepted. Not kept in by Rosas, and the Rustlers will take it. 22 left here in the first half of play between Fullerton and Golden West. These two teams have faced each other once this season. And Fullerton, of course, with a 3-0 lead. I say the words, of course, because Fullerton's only conference loss came this last Tuesday, where the Hornets didn't end up playing their usual lineup. Down into the middle, it bounces off of 2. Will end up being a corner kick coming up for the Golden West Rustlers. But Fullerton playing with a little bit of a different lineup. Same formation, but it was the Fullerton College Hornets who ended up losing to Cypress, as once again they got their first conference loss of the season. They're trying to make sure here this afternoon that it stays as their only conference loss this season. One of the best records that Fullerton has had in conference play throughout their program's history. Goes right off the chest of Diego Piñon, and that will be a goal kick coming up for Ortiz. Here's Ortiz. Change of possession goes back to the Hornets. Juan Luis Quintana. Quintana tries to spin to his right. Not successful in that endeavor, but it will find Tamayo. Tamayo dispossessed beautifully there by Hatun. Hatun looking for Chavez. There's a run on the right-hand side for Florian. Florian on the inside, but it goes just off the back heel of Melgoza. Melgoza had it inside the box with possession and position, but it ends up tapping his back heel and just going away. Fullerton has numbers if they hurry. A beautiful pass from Omar Ruiz, and it goes right past Juan Luis Quintana. That surely would have been a breakaway pass if it was connected on. And a nice ball into open space there by Ruiz. Just wasn't going to be completed at the end. Foot race, slid away, high into the crowd, and it ends up getting skied out for a throw-in, far side. Big thank you to everyone who has joined us here on Futbol Fridays throughout the entirety of this season. It has been a joy to watch this program kind of go from that start of season where they played a lot of northern teams and an out-of-state team as well, to seeing them hit their stride, not allow a goal in 2.5 matches. Big shutout streak for the Hornets. Just watch them purely dominate conference play and then find themselves, as we saw last week, with an outright conference championship. Here's a shot that ends up going high and wide for a goal kick. And that's one of the more rewarding things that you will find if you ever get the opportunity to end up being with a program throughout the entirety of a season, as Jacob McCormick is going to step in just a few moments. Carlos Doral gets his opportunity. But you get to see the overall growth of a program from the start of the season or even before the season towards the end and towards the postseason. You see how each and every person on the squad changes their mindset. You see their determination change. You see the attitude change, and you see the overall outlook change. You start to get those feelings with them of anticipation. What does the postseason look like? Will there be a postseason? In Fullerton's case, how quickly are they able to get themselves to a top 5 team in California? Can they stay as number 1? Can they keep themselves as the number 1 team in Southern California going to the postseason? And then also, how can they learn from their mistakes? How do they respond when they find themselves in times of adversity, like you saw in that matchup against IVC? You go up 3-0, you end up leaving that game with a tie. And it was one of the more deflating things for Fullerton throughout the season. But immediately following that, Fullerton, the question of how you respond was completely answered by the Hornets. As throughout the next 4 matches, they would only end up conceding 1 goal. They at one point went 5 straight matches conceding either 1 or fewer. And 3 of those matches across a timeline ended up conceding none. Nathan Giles is going to take over on the right-hand side. But these student athletes, if you get a chance to experience a season with them, you just see how everything changes for each of these student athletes and how their season molds and floats and changes. Here's Omar Ruiz with a goal. The credit has to go to Nathan Giles with a beautiful floater into open space. He finds the open guy. It is Ruiz. It's 2-0 Fullerton. Fullerton retakes over right-hand side with Courtney. Courtney down the middle. It's going to earn a corner kick coming up for Fullerton. And that play is all thanks to Nathan Giles and his positioning. Remember, he picks up the ball. He tosses it in initially. That ball ends up getting cleared out right back to him. And he takes one peek, finds that Omar Ruiz has a run right down the middle if he can get it to him. Puts some spin on the ball, places it perfectly. Ruiz almost looked like he got a little surprised by the fact that that one got over 3 people and ended up at his feet almost. Was able to adjust and poke that one right past Barragan. It's now 2-0 Fullerton. And if you're a Fullerton College fan, you're pretty happy with this as this is up into the air. Mason Gorham, a chance for him. But it ends up into the arms of Barragan. Shakamoy Diabe. Diabe now looking for Ruiz. Ruiz over to Quintana. Doesn't work, and now it does find Quintana by way of Ruiz. Ruiz gets parked, slid away by Cesar Marquez, and Vieira still has it. Vieira now with Melgoza. Melgoza working against Sherman. Sherman takes it over, clearing out for Hayden Kenny. Kenny can't get to it. It goes to Sean Allen, and Allen's going to pick it up and throw it right back in. He finds Diabe. Diabe now for Melgoza, offsides. So across Southern California, as we mentioned, as Vieira is going to get a yellow card for a little bit of a heated discussion with the official. Vieira gets carded, and now with 12:40 on the clock, Fullerton is going to have themselves a free kick in just a moment. Gorham swings his right foot through it, and they're going to bring it back for a sec. Ends up that Vieira is actually going to be subbed off for Felix Perez. Gorham decides to lay it back to Ortiz, and Fullerton will play it from the back line forward. Gorham with McCormick. McCormick right across the line. Keeps it along the touchline, looking for Marquez. They try and get it back towards midfield. Diabe now running with it. Diabe Goes to his right. Beautiful move to get around two. It slid away from him for a second and finally cleared away by the Hornets. Diabe with a gorgeous move to get around two different guys. And it ended up right at the foot of Gorham, and Gorham was able to get that past two. Here's Marquez. Marquez with Giles. They play 1-2, but it doesn't end up connecting. And ball going against Fullerton College. Sherman might end up getting carded here in a moment. We'll see. Both guys end up hitting the deck. Contact was made there with Diego Piñon. And it will end up being Kyle Sherman who gets carded with a yellow. Out of town scoreboard, 18:04. Left in the first half, Saddleback and Santiago Canyon. The Hawks have gotten one back. It's now 2-1. Again, as it stands, if all should remain the same PowerPoint-wise, Saddleback would actually play Fullerton if they go with that 1 plays 16, 2 plays 15 type of deal. But we shall see how everything will shake out. For the moment being, Saddleback trying to clinch their way into the playoff. They need a win. For Saddleback, the Bobcats, they are essentially in a win and in situation, according to PowerPoints. Here's Ruiz. Now for Courtney. Courtney trying to off-foot that over towards Quintana. Doesn't work. Aldo keeps it in. And it will be taken away over to Melgoza. Melgoza with the right foot of Cesar Marquez. Now the Hornets setting up. Goes over to Sean Allen. Nice deflection there by Allen. That's exactly what you want from a center back, a guy who's able to take possession, who's able to just slow down the attacking front of his opponent without having to overreact to anything too much. Take control of games, and that's what you saw there from Allen. Dangerous chance for Courtney, as he was going to have that go over top of the defender and then just take it off the angle. But instead, Allen takes it past him and deflects it right over to Barragan. Free kick. Ortiz has this into the air. Lots of contact. That deflects twice. Here's a chance off the header, and it's cleared away. Abe had a chance. And it will be Rosas who kind of off-foots this one over towards the right side. It now goes to Marquez. Fullerton wants to counter. Cleared away as Omar Ruiz tried to ask for it, and it goes now to Rosas. Rosas too far in front of him, and it will be a throw-in for Golden West. Substitutions at next availability coming in for Fullerton College. Hayden Kenny is going to rejoin, and it looks like we may get an injury sub for the Hornets in just a couple of moments, as Nathan Giles a little uncomfortable there at the end of that play. We might get Garrett Eicherman in just a moment. Eight minutes on the clock here in the first half of play. Fullerton College 2 and Golden West 0. Fullerton scored in the first 7 minutes of this game thanks to a turnover by Golden West. And Hayden Kenny capitalized on it and just walked it home. Second goal of the match for Fullerton was an in-swinger from Nathan Giles, which ended up being headed home, and successfully so by Omar Ruiz, to make it 2-0. Fullerton with the advantage. Currently, we do have a stoppage due to, unfortunately, a student athlete from Golden West College having a little bit of trouble getting himself up. Excellent training staff, athletic training staff here at Fullerton College, the best in California. Attending to him here, Lorena getting an opportunity to help the student athletes, not only Fullerton College, but also Golden West as well. Evan Courtney is going to check out for Fullerton College. Misael Gonzalez, the star for the Hornets. In terms of offense, will hop on for Fullerton. So far this season, he continues to have a top 3 greatest season in Fullerton College history. And that's not just taking that sentence lightly. That is taking all of Fullerton College's history into account, recorded history that is. And Fullerton has been quite grateful to have Misael Gonzalez lead their team offensively. As so far to this point, Misa with a total of 23 goals, 7 assists for 53 points. Still a stoppage here as the clock continues to tick down, 5:50 on the clock. And it looks like it is Jesus Melgoza who is being attended to by the athletic training staff. It's unfortunate to see a student athlete at any game or any athletic event end up getting hurt or needing assistance from the athletic training staff, but that is why Fullerton employs the best AT squad in the entire state of California, if not the nation, to help these student athletes get themselves well and back onto the pitch, onto the field, onto the court, in the pool as quickly as possible, but also as safely as possible. Back underway here. Golden West will end up throwing this one in. Goes over to Rosas. Rosas now with Quintana. Rosas still with it for a chance. Skied away right side. Aldo has to get to it fast. Aldo does clear it out. Ends up getting tumbled over, but yet he does make the play and sends it off to the right. Abe, drop down. Abe with it. High swinging ball that goes over towards the left. A chance for Florian, doesn't work. And we're going to get some substitutions in just a moment. Hayden Kenny is going to walk onto the field. He will be joined, it looks like, by Garrett Eicherman at this point. Yes, indeed. Mason Gorham is going to take a seat. We should have about 5 minutes worth of stoppage time. Initially, it didn't look like we were going to have very much, maybe just a minute or so. But overall, this matchup has actually gone pretty quickly up until the injury timeout. Here's Giles. Giles wants to go forward. He does find Misa. Misa, right-footed. Has to control things. Now with his left, he finds Ruiz. Ruiz on the inside. A good kick, and it's going to end up being a little bit extra for Barragan to get up for a second. Barragan ended up getting hit by that ball. And he has to take an extra second to catch his breath and get everyone up the field. 3 minutes on the clock left in the first half of play. Ryan Osborn joining you here on Futbol Fridays, but it is in fact a Thursday. That's right, Futbol Fridays on a Thursday. Why, Ryan, you ask? Well, it's because we wanted to finish off the Fullerton College schedule this season. Make sure that we had everyone all up to date and getting an opportunity to watch as much of this program as possible throughout this season. Ortiz sees his teammate asking to work quickly. He doesn't end up doing so, but now he'll swing it forward, and it will end up going over towards Ruiz. Ruiz now with Victor Santana. Santana, we'll see that one poked away from him. Quintana now with Kenny. Kenny and Gonzalez, a magical duo who has put in a lot of work this season. Here's Sean Allen intercepting that one, deflecting it out of play, and it will go to the floor. Here's Marquez. Marquez off the corner. Too far for everyone else, and Kenny can't catch up to it either. Jonathan Ortiz telling his teammates, hey, we need to get ourselves a little bit more clean in terms of those set pieces. At least that's what he was barking over to our left. Fullerton needs to be able to get themselves back onto the same page. Under a minute to play here in the first half of official time. That is not additional time. That's just the official 45. Drop down. Official says, hey, we're gaining about 40 feet here, guys. Let's drop it back and end up throwing it from just past the Swarm City logo. Here's Vieira. Vieira trying to walk it down the line. Vieira sees that one chopped up. Escape to midfield. Heavy pressure by the Hornets. Marquez tries to find Misa. They do end up finding Misa. Little tapper goes over to Hayden Kenny. Kenny gets that one taken away from him for a second, and Golden West has a great chance to push. A chance for Florian. Florian, little off-footer, looking for a teammate and slid away there by Ortiz, as Ortiz was lively to it, anticipated it well, and was able to take it away and bring it back to Giles. Giles. Now to Marquez. Marquez, right-footed, sent down. Eicherman watching on as Omar Ruiz does the same. No official word yet on how much additional time will be added. Now on this left-hand side, Aragon. Quality chances, and two of the three they have scored on. This ball deflects off of Golden West and will end up being a goal kick coming up. Officials will have to wait as substitution comes in for the Hornets. Omar Ruiz will take a seat. And coming in for him will be Brian Chavez. We'll have more on that out-of-town scoreboard in addition to the the State of California rankings coming up in just a little bit. Misa, bad touch, Florian. We'll see that one be a foul against Misa. We're in additional time here in the first half of play between Fullerton and Golden West. Golden West has to get themselves on the board to assure themselves that they get into the state playoff via power points. A win or draw against Fullerton would go miles towards their campaign to stay in the top 16 and get themselves to the playoff. Goal kick coming up for Fullerton College. Just remember, Fullerton, #1 team in California, #2 team across the nation. And for Golden West, if they were to end up getting a win or a draw against Fullerton, it would severely help out their case to get themselves to stay in the top 16. If not, they're going to have to rely on losses from teams like Cypress, Antelope Valley, LA Mission. No help will be received from Cerritos, as Cerritos has actually finished off their regular season already. So Cerritos won't have to actually wait to see whether or not they're going to wait around for anyone else to help them out. As Kenny will see this one deflect off of a defender. It goes off the head of Solano. And a corner kick coming out for Fullerton. But on the other side, with Cerritos not having another game to play, it actually hurts the teams below them a little bit, because there's no opportunity for Cerritos to possibly draw or lose. And the teams directly below them who need that, plus a win, don't end up seeing that happen. So you're looking at Saddleback and Golden West essentially being the final two teams that have the opportunity to find themselves out of the top 16. Golden West with the win would assure themselves staying in there. But as of right now, they trail it 2-0. Punched out. Barragan will see that one over towards midfield. Whistle blows, and that will bring us to the half. So it's Fullerton College 2, and on the other side, it is Golden West 0. You are watching Futbol Fridays, but this time on a Thursday on KBPK. So back here on KBPK, Ryan Osborn joining you as Fullerton College with the advantage and the lead of 2-0 over top of Golden West College. And currently, as we take a look across the entire state of California and how things are going, we remind you that just a few minutes ago, we actually had a couple of scoring changes that took place with Saddleback and Santiago Canyon and Irvine Valley. At last check for Irvine Valley and Cypress, it was Irvine Valley 1, Cypress 0, as that is on our sister station, sportsnetusa.net. Saddleback, on the other hand, has taken a lead once again. They actually were drawn up by Santiago Canyon. Santiago Canyon got themselves back on the board. They leveled it. And Saddleback, with about 36 seconds left in the first half, makes it 3-2 over Santiago Canyon. So the Saddleback Bobcats doing all they can to stay in the top 16. All they would need is a win. They are the number 15 spot across 1 through 16. And Santiago Canyon is well out, but they are trying to play the role of spoiler. Remember last week, Fullerton College actually played Santiago Canyon here at House Scherbeck Field and beat Santiago Canyon to win themselves the outright title of Orange Empire Conference champions. So, for Fullerton, that doesn't mean all that much, but for teams like Cypress, for teams like Antelope Valley, LA Mission, that is quite the score. 3-2 Saddleback with the lead going into the half. Irvine Valley and Cypress, again, it's 1-0 Irvine Valley with the lead over top of Cypress. Cypress needs a win, and they also need a loss from Golden West or Saddleback and Antelope Valley to find themselves in it. Santa Ana taking it to Orange Coast. At the half, it is 4-0 Santa Ana with the lead as they are trying to clinch themselves a playoff spot as well. Also going on across Southern California, LA Pearson Citrus, that will be a 5:30 matchup. And then Merritt and Contra Costa, that will be a 4 p.m. matchup. Now, a lot of these overall, we'll call them outlooks, will be changed tomorrow because a lot of the total seasons for these teams like Mount Sac, Modesto, Long Beach, and LA City, are going to finish off their seasons tomorrow or Sunday, depending on how they do in their conference tournaments. Canyon's playing Glendale. Mount Sac will be playing a to-be-announced team as they progress in the SCC tournament. The South Coast Conference Tournament third-place game, LA City and Long Beach, will be at 1 p.m. That is also tomorrow. Long Beach trying to assure themselves a top 8 spot so they can actually host coming up in the state playoff. Now, here in Southern California, Oxnard and Santa Barbara, both of them are pretty much locked in as power points go into the playoff. San Diego Mesa, Cuyamaca can also say the same for themselves. Mount Sac and El Camino, that is going to be the South Coast Conference Tournament Final. That will be at 4 p.m. tomorrow. And Antelope Valley, once again, if Cypress wants to get themselves into the playoffs, if Saddleback wants to stay in the playoff as well, or they want a little bit of help, they need Antelope Valley to take a loss. LA Mission is going to play Allen Hancock at 6 p.m. as well. That will be a huge game coming up with playoff implications as well. So that is all tomorrow. You get about half of the information you need from the results today, and the other half will end up being tomorrow. Across the state of California, rankings-wise, you look at a team like Fullerton, 17-2-2 as of the latest California state poll. That came out on November the 6th, so that was on Monday. That was before the loss that Fullerton suffered against Cypress by a 2-1 final score. So for now, Fullerton stays as the #1 team in the state of California. El Camino, the #2 team in the state of California. For El Camino, they got 3 first-place votes and a 17-1-0 record, only 1 point behind Fullerton College in the overall state rankings. Evergreen Valley sits at #3 with Santa Rosa at #4. Norco, who Fullerton has played and beat earlier this season, has a 12-1-5 record. They are in the top 10 in California and also the top 15 across the entire nation as well. Skyline with San Bernardino Valley are there in the top 10. They are 6 and 7. Santa Monica, Fresno, and Oxnard, they are also in the top 10, and they actually round out the top 10. But the most important thing that's going on in California are the power points. You've got to be able to control the power points if you want to be in the state playoff. For now, El Camino has the #1 spot with power points, 18-1 overall record, a win percentage of .947, and a per game total of 2.4421. Again, all of those decimal points are extremely important because they help break down everything to a 1,000th level for each of these teams. El Camino, Fullerton, Santa Monica, joined by Norco and Oxnard. Those are the top 5 in Southern California power points. And again, you go down towards the bottom half of the standings in power points, just trying to get themselves the last spot in the playoff. It's teams like Cypress, like Antelope Valley, Golden West, Chaffee, Miracosta, and Bakersfield as well. But they all need help. Cerritos, as we mentioned, their team or their season has already ended in the SCC tournament. They have almost assured themselves a spot in the state playoff. But it's teams like Saddleback and Golden West who currently hold the final 2 in Southern California. They need wins to stay there. A tie for Golden West actually helps them a little bit more than a tie for Saddleback does. And as of right now, again, Saddleback 3 and Santiago Canyon 2. But Saddleback with an 8-5-5 record and a win percentage of .583, 1.8528 power points this season, which is just about .0824 more than Golden West College, who is 6-7-7 entering today. Now again, the reason why a tie for Golden West does a lot more for Golden West than a tie does for Saddleback is you look at the opponents. Santiago Canyon so far this season not really having the season that they would like. They are actually towards the bottom of the PowerPoint rankings. But on the other side for for Golden West College, they're playing the #2 or #1 team in the country or state in Fullerton College. So a tie against a #1 team versus a tie against a team who's in the bottom half of the PowerPoint percentage, it is Golden West who would benefit from that draw rather than a team like Saddleback. So Saddleback needs to win to stay. Golden West needs to win or draw, at least to have a chance to stay. And on the other side, Antelope Valley, LA Mission, both have to lose for Cypress to get themselves in. Now remember, that game for Cypress is actually happening on our sister station, sportsnetusa.net, as to this point, it is a 1-0 lead for Irvine Valley College, and they are actually just underway in the second half over at Cypress. That's going to be a huge game to watch just overall for the Orange Empire Conference, because there's an excellent chance for the OEC to actually send 5 or 6 different teams based on how today goes and tomorrow goes as well. And it would be an excellent chance for the OEC to kind of represent themselves almost fully from top to bottom in the state playoff because of how good this entire conference has been and what the overall combined record of the teams that they play against have been as well. So it's going to be interesting to watch on. Irvine Valley and Cypress, we will give you updates as that goes along. As of right now, Irvine Valley with a 1-0 lead. For them, they've already assured themselves a spot in the state playoff. They are just trying to clinch an assurity of having home field and being able to host for at least a round or two. But that's all going to be decided on whether or not they can get a win. A win today, and Irvine also assures themselves of hosting at least a couple of rounds. Ryan Osborn joining you here on Futbol Fridays, except it is on a Thursday, as we have mentioned before. For Fullerton College, well, so far this season they have looked special. In this game, you see a lot of the counterattacking that Fullerton has and depth as well that we have heard oh so much from across the entire conference and from this coaching staff too. You see just how they can score even when they don't have their top scorer on the field. Excuse me. Misael Gonzalez had to take a seat to start off this game, didn't end up getting the start, but did come in later on in the first half with about 10 minutes left. But yet still, Fullerton was able to get a couple of goals. They forced a turnover. Hayden Kenny gets himself on the board once again. And Omar Ruiz, off of a pass from Nathan Giles, is able to bury one off the header. And Fullerton's depth scoring is still there. They are able to continually show that it doesn't just have to be one guy doing the work. Now, when you look at it from a perspective of Fullerton, how they've done this season, how they have scored this season, yeah, a lot of their scoring has been from Misael Gonzalez having a hand in the goal scoring overall. 23 goals, 7 assists, and he has 53 points, which is the second best scoring season in Fullerton College history. But what you need for Fullerton, if you're going to have success in the state playoff, is you need that depth scoring. You need guys like Hayden Kenny to be good. You need guys like Cesar Marquez and Brian Aragon to space out the field and create chances by the way that they place the ball. You need guys like that back line of Sevillano, Nathan Giles, in addition to guys like Eicherman as well, and Sherman and Aldo, to have solid games and even chip in offensively when they get the chance. You saw Angel Sevillano get himself on the board with a goal last week. It ended up actually being the game winner for Fullerton, if I'm not mistaken, as he gave the Hornets the chance to get themselves the win last week and the conference crown. You have to have that. You have to have those chances and opportunities from guys who you don't normally expect to be at the top of the score sheet to be able to have success. You look at Fullerton last year, a lot of their scoring came from their top 2 scorers, one of them being Misa, and they struggled a little bit once they got to go and face a team like Oxnard. Oxnard, of course, winning the state championship last year, and rightfully so, as they were one of the best teams in the entire nation. But if Fullerton wants to be able to surpass what they did last year, they have to have that secondary scoring. And what we've seen in the last 4 matches for the Hornets is that they have actually achieved that secondary scoring. They show that their depth isn't just one guy at the top of their formation getting all the goals. Well, we're going to step aside for just a couple of moments as we get set for the second half of play between Fullerton College and Golden West. And when we come back, it'll be Fullerton and Golden West in the second half of the final matchup of this season here on KBPK. And we welcome you back here to Futbol Fridays on a Thursday here on KBPK. My name is Ryan Osborn, joining you live as Fullerton College looks to finish off this conference schedule with a win if they can. It's all going to come down to this last 45 of play. Scooped up, left-hand side, goes over past Lopez. Lopez trying to keep that one alive, does end up finding Tatun. Tatun, down the middle. Mario Floriano watching on. Goaltender change for Fullerton College. Off to the right, it will end up going out for Eddie Lopez. Left-hand side of the park. Here's a shot. It's a goal. Beautifully placed there. Are they going to call it down? Official is asking for a little conversation over to our right. It looked like it was going to be a goal. Instead, that's going to end up being a foul. If you're a Golden West fan, you're not thrilled about it, as it will end up being Diego Piñon who gets a yellow card, and it looked like it was a masterful deflection there by Piñon, but instead it ends up being a yellow as the conversation takes place. And Piñon studs go up a little bit too high inside the box, and it stays at 2-0. John Callahan keeps it alive. Onto his chest, now drops it over to his right foot, trying to keep it with him. He ends up getting called for one, and it will be dropped down by Sean Allen. Now you're starting to see a little bit more of that intensity, that desperation, if you will, for Golden West College. As we've said numerous times, they need a win or a draw here today against Fullerton. They currently trail at 2-0, so they've got a lot of work to do if they're going to get themselves into the state playoff, or at least assure themselves a spot in the state playoff. Ruben Rivera, he'll drop it down. Now Sean Allen, high pop. He'll drop it to Barragan, and Barragan will kick it away. Barragan has played most of the minutes for Golden West College. Goals against average of 1.59. Here's Sean Callahan working against Sean Allen, and Allen will intercept and deflect away. Here's a chance for Lopez. Lopez can't get past Aldo, as Aldo will scoop it out of play. Now a throw-in on the far side of the park. High throw in towards the penalty marker. Here's a chance. It goes past Florian. Vieira on a sprint, trying to get back to the ball. He does get there successfully. Tries to tap it away. Doesn't work. Goes back to Aldo. Aldo will see this one go all the way back towards the athletic training tent. And it will be a throw-in for Golden West coming. Here's Florian. Florian left-footed. He's just trying to change sides, look for a different attack. Goes all the way back to Malgoza. Malgoza will see this one out towards the corner, and is it a corner kick or a throw-in? It is offsides. Neither will matter. Five minutes into the second half of play between these two, Fullerton and Golden West College. Fullerton 2. Golden West 0. Little looper goes back to Barragan as he's backtracking. Finds Giles. Now Giles We'll see that intercepted and taken away from Courtney. Courtney. Chance up. Into the air. Gets away from 2. Rivera looking for it. And Sean Allen says, you know what, that's enough of this as this one goes off of a hand. Here's Melgoza. Melgoza in the clear. Melgoza working against Aldo. He'll score. Absolutely needed for Golden West College as they're going to reset quickly. And they get on the board. A beautiful job there by Sean Allen and Melgoza. Kind of a surprise there on the goal. I don't really think anyone anticipated the official not calling the handball that was at midfield. But nonetheless, for Golden West, a great way of just finding themselves taking advantage of everyone taking a seat for a second. Everyone on Fullerton's side was caught asking the official for a handball, but no one was actually getting back. And as soon as Melgoza gets the opportunity in open space, he made no mistake about it. So Melgoza scores and gives Golden West a little bit of light here. Here's Eicherman. Eicherman runs it all the way past the touchline and it goes out. Wake-up call for Fullerton College. Foul against Golden West. Felix Perez not thrilled with it. Talks to the ref and says, hey, come on. Give me a little bit of a benefit of the doubt here. Doesn't do so. So this goes back to Courtney. Courtney now with Tamayo. Here's Tamayo to Eicherman. Eicherman. Right side, or excuse me, left side of the offense. Tries to float it in. A chance, but it's cleared lightly. Now Callahan. Callahan with Tamayo. Tamayo looking for Eicherman. He finds Eicherman. Eicherman swings this right down the middle. Trying to keep it off the frame there was Gomez, and Gomez will see this one out as Fullerton turns it over. So Fullerton had a lot of possession on that left side, but just couldn't turn it into an offensive chance. As Tamayo will take it. Tamayo looking for Gomez. Thomas Gomez keeping it for a second. Now it goes to Eicherman. Eicherman, high chopper. Gets away from 2. Tamayo. Check down, goes off of him. It goes out of play. Looks like Hayden Kenny and one more are going to check in. We'll get a little view on who that one more is in just a moment. Cesar Marquez is the other person who will come in for the Hornets, as Garrett Eicherman will take it away. Eicherman. Now for Callahan. Callahan, little floater for Gomez. He's trying to force a one-on-one battle. And it will end up being Gomez who does find himself racing after that ball. Can't get to it in time, though. "3-2 is the score. Saddleback in Santiago Canyon. It continues to be that way in the second half for Irvine and Cypress. It is 1-0, Irvine Valley with the lead. Throw in for the Hornets. Goes off of Kenny. Now to Courtney. Courtney looking for Marquez off the top of his ankle, and it will go out. Booted. Now for Callahan. Make that Jacob McCormick. McCormick. Looking for Courtney. Courtney taken away. Goes off of Courtney, and it will end up being a throw-in coming up. So Golden West College getting one back. Now they've got to work a little faster, trying to work with some urgency here. Aldo. Vieira bluffing that he's going to go over to his right-hand side. Gets triple teamed by 3 Hornets who end up getting to that ball in time. Courtney has it go off of him. And a toss in for Golden West. Mason Gorham is going to check in for the Hornets in just a moment. Callahan wants to slow things down for a second. Just go off the Hornets. It does not. And Golden West will have to concede the ball. Fullerton wants a sub. Mason Gorham is going to enter, and on the other side, taking a seat now will be Evan Courtney. And in for Courtney will be Pedro Delgado. So Delgado along with Thomas Gomez, Cesar Marquez, Sean Callahan, Hayden Kenny. With Delgado, Gorham, Giles, McCormick, Tamayo, and Floriano. Those are the 11 for Fullerton College, as they will take possession here off the whistle. Check down off the head. High booming kick goes over towards Giles. Rustlers trying to get themselves on the attack a little bit more. They have now owned time of possession for most of this second half. They have been able to work the way that they would like to. It's just a matter of timing. Can they get their attack to develop? Can they connect successfully on some passes to get themselves forward? Ball quickly kicked away for Golden West. They're trying to catch Fullerton off guard. Jacob McCormick gets back to it in time. McCormick will work it with Eicherman. 2-1 score with just about 32 minutes left in this one, at least in regulation without additional time. Here's Vieira. A pass goes forward for Melgoza, who tries to float one over top of Floriano. It would have gone in, but Floriano with just enough height as he jumps and makes the catch. Nice job there by Melgoza as he tries something different. Little floater, little tapper. I think he thought he was offsides and he just wanted to go towards the frame. But Floriano says, you know what, I'm not taking any chances here. And he gets his hands up and is able to drop it down. We thank everyone for joining us here on Futbol Fridays once again. It has been a pleasure to bring you Fullerton College soccer. This is a chance. It hits the bar. And for all of you who have watched, who have sent us comments online, telling us where you're tuning in from, we appreciate it as a station here at KBPK. It is always an honor and a joy to be able to hear from all of our viewers and listeners from across the United States and around the world as well. We thank you for joining us and being here for Fullerton College soccer all season and Futbol Fridays. Yeah, I know today's a Thursday, but nonetheless, the energy remains the same. Floriano trying to catch up to this ball before it gets past his box. And he is able to catch up to it and get it to Eicherman. Here's Eicherman. Now with Marquez. Marquez with Gorham. Gorham will drop it back to Floriano. Here's Gorham. Left-hand side. Lots of pace on this ball, and Sean Callahan is able to keep it in. He's got a little bit of work to do to get it over to Thomas Gomez. And it is taken away by the Rustlers. Rustlers now with Eddie Lopez. Lopez pushed into the ball. Floriano loses it for a second, but he regains possession and brings it over to Jacob McCormick. Rustlers now take it back. Here's Melgoza. Melgoza has an open guy. Here's a chance, and it's skied wide left. It could not have been any more clear for Joel Garcia, and he sends that one high and to the left of the frame. An excellent chance and setup there by Melgoza, and it ends up going past the left post. So Golden West has done everything they can to get their offense jump-started here in the second half, including scoring a goal and having 2 really quality chances. And Coach Greg Avila says, hey, that's enough of that. Let's bring on the one and only Misael Gonzalez. He's also joined by Isaac Olivas. Floriano only to midfield. Foul against Vieira. Vieira says, hey, no, there was an elbow to my back. You got to bring it right back this way. Falsely starting a set piece as it looks like the official wants to have a word with Nathan Giles. Giles watching on. Braille Linda Hills starting to become basked in less and less sunlight as the day goes on. Misa has that one deflected away. The corner kick coming up as Sherman will check in for the Hornets for Tamayo. So the Hornets will now have to set up shop on that left-hand side. They've got a corner kick chance for them coming up. Hornets leading it 2-0 with 27.5 to play. Clock continues to tick down, and for Fullerton College, as we've mentioned, the Hornets have already clinched themselves a playoff spot. They don't have to worry about that. What they are aiming for is to stay in the top 3 to be able to host throughout the entirety of the way in the postseason. Into the air. Now it finds Hayden Kenny for a second. Sean Allen is going to have to chase after it. It will be a throw in far side of the park. Planes from the nearby Fullerton Airport just kind of doing their circles around Hal Scherbeck Field. Always a welcome sight, means that there is nice weather outside. Here's Barragan. Barragan decides he wants to work fast. He's got a guy streaking over towards the ball. It's Vieira. Vieira can't catch up to it, and Giles does. Offsides for the Hornets as Hayden Kenny was trying to get back. Only 26.5 left for Golden West to get themselves back into it. They need at least a draw. A win would go miles for them and actually would assure them a definite spot in the playoff. But a draw leaves everything up to chance. A loss does exactly the same. Second half. Less than 20 minutes to go. Irvine Valley and Cypress. It is Irvine Valley 1, Cypress 0. Just not able to get on the board for the Chargers. As again, Fullerton and the entire Orange Empire Conference watching on as all of the scores from today having a massive impact for the conference. Misa wants to stop for a second. Misa, a chance for Olivas. No deflection. Bueno is the call from the bench as everyone from Fullerton was pretty happy with that attacking chance. 25.5 left. 30 minutes left in that Saddleback game. It is 3-2, the Bobcats with the lead. Misa comes back for it. Misa. Now with Garrett Eicherman, now Gorham. They play 1-2 over near the Swarm City logo. Eicherman too far in front of him as Olivas tried to keep that one going. Stay with the KBPK Instagram account as we're going to continue to give you all of the updates you need in terms of where Fullerton College will end up playing sometime next week. They are going to host. It's a matter of whether it's through the first 3 rounds or it's through 2 rounds. Either way, they are going to host, and KBPK will keep you updated on whether or not we're going to have a live stream of the postseason in the CCCAA. Here's Sherman. Sherman over towards the far side of the park. He turns it over, and Golden West wants to run with Lopez. Lopez will see that one kicked away by Nathan Giles. Matun comes back in. He's also joined by Victor Santana. Santana out of Sao Paulo. That's the academy. Gorham takes it away. Ornich trying to work with some open space that they have on the left-hand side of the park here. Gorham, liner net of Misa. Misa caught up by 2. Misa pushed off the ball for a second, and he will turn it over. Allen heads that one directly into the floor. Hammers it in. Goes over to Gorham. Gorham, nice job to move past 2. He breaks the ankles of another guy. Florian trying to work past him. Next pass doesn't end up connecting. And now here's a chance. It's a break for Golden West the other way. Here's Melgoza. Melgoza to his left foot, switching back to his right. He's got an open lane. He shoots, and Floriano makes the save. You want to talk about an individual effort. Melgoza, excellent job for Jesus, the 5'9" freshman out of Servite, just working with his left hip and is able to kind of pivot, almost like you would see in basketball, get the defender on his hip, pivot over to his left, and the quick spin move finds himself alone inside the box. Still there. Now for Vieira. Vieira into the air. He ends up on the floor. And with 21.5 left, it still remains 2-1 Fullerton. Vieira talking to the official. He says he's fine, and he's going to retreat. Mario Floriano will kick it away. Now 20.5 left. Alexis Tamayo will enter for Mason Gorham, who had an excellent last 15 minutes of play. Simply fantastic stuff from Mason Gorham. He's able to shut down the opponent's attack and then also, like we saw a few moments ago, initiate his own. Advantage played to Golden West. Golden West with the ball. Trying to move forward. They look for a guy in Joel Garcia. Garcia can't get that one to roll. Garcia, remember, just a few moments ago had himself a chance. Now he's got one here. And Lopez. We'll see that one right into the hands of Floriano off the dribbler. Popped up. Hayden Kenny can't find it for a second. That should be a handball going against Sean Allen. Allen not happy, says that his hand was kind of tucked in a little bit, not much he could do, but the official says, no. It was an unnatural positioning for the hand and allows for the call to be made. Cesar Marquez. Looper. Looking for Misa, just a shade over top of his head. Barragan getting direction from his bench saying, hey, let's move things. We got to get going. Only 18:45 on the clock left. Kicked away by Sherman. You can kind of expect those heavy clearances as Misa is yanked away. That should be a card coming out, and if it is, it will end up going against Christopher Solano, and it is not. Misa had kind of a clear chance to get himself away from the action, and the jersey was pulled as Francesco Centrella is going to check in for Fullerton in a few moments. 18.5 left. Here's Marquez. Marquez, little floater towards the middle. Misa, too much contact there. He gets the whistle, and Barragan is going to send it away in just a moment. Not really a lot of time for them to play it from their back line, so he decides to go over towards the left-hand side of the park if you're looking at it from the goalkeeper's perspective. And it will go off the chest of a Rustler and out. So a throw in for Fullerton College with Jacob McCormick. So Centrella will take over on the left-hand side of the back line for Fullerton. Tossed in. Here's Kenny. Popped up into the air off of the head of Kenny. He's just trying to get it over to Misa. Misa can work with a lot of space. Misa Gonzalez, the recent UCI commit. Misa looking to his left foot, takes a shot and scores! Gonzalez doesn't need very much. It will be an assist to Hayden Kenny. And just like that, Fullerton goes from being on the backpedaling side of things for a long time here in this second half to taking a 2-goal lead. It's 3-1 Fullerton College. See Centrella. Centrella getting direction from Mario Floriano directly behind him saying, hey, you see Misa in front of you? Go ahead and go to him now. And he does exactly that, and Fullerton goes on the attack once more. Centrella with it. Centrella tries to go over to his left. That will end up being a handball against Malgoza. (3-1) Fullerton College with the lead. 15.5 left in this one. Tamayo gets that one poked away from him. Now Eddie Lopez. Lopez looking for a chance down the middle of the park, and it's cleared away by Sherman. Sherman, nice job to get there. Lopez gets the whistle. 14:40 showing on the clock. Now to Misa. Misa to his left to Michel. Michel tries to go down the middle. And that will be cleared away and all the way into the crowd. Thrown coming up for Fullerton College. And a whole host of substitutions coming in. We might even see Misa check out for the Hornets. Evan Courtney will hop on. And he'll also be joined in just a few moments, I will see in a second, by Ruben Rivera, in addition to Sean Callahan. Had to wait for a moment as both of those two guys were kind of covered by the tents directly behind the Fullerton College bench, the easy ups there. But they all check in, and Misa will take a seat. Hayden Kenny will take a seat, and Fullerton College pretty comfortable with their 3-1 lead. Right back down the middle, and a diving chance there by Barragan. And he takes it away. Tamayo. Now it's Sherman. Tamayo, Sherman. Down the middle of the park, they try to go, but instead it goes over to Sean Callahan. Callahan now to Michel. Michel tries to back it to Callahan. Doesn't work, doesn't connect, and Tamayo will have to take it away. Golden West being forced into long passes, but they have some takeaways. An example right here being Vieira. And Vieira will find someone. Little floater. Now to the right. Down to Eicherman. Eicherman now with Courtney. Courtney off his right foot. Courtney looking to move. Doesn't end up working. And it will be taken over by Golden West as they try and move out the park. Directly over my right shoulder, Dr. Naveen Kanal, the head coach of one of the best programs in the entire state of California. And his team is going to end up playing in a matchup this Monday, if I'm not mistaken. They will have the opportunity to get themselves to state. Already at the state championship. I take that back. So they are going to be competing for the state championship. Now with Dr. Canal over to my right, quick question. Is it going to be just one athlete or you have multiple going up there?
The entire team is qualified at the state regional. We placed 4th. And we will be competing as a team for the state championship and also for the individual title.
So the answer I got is that the entire team has qualified for the state championship. They ended up as the number 4 spot, and they will, as a team, be competing for the state championship and an opportunity to go out and get themselves a team title. Was a joy a few weeks ago to be able to go out to the Fullerton College matchup that they had earlier this season that we gave you coverage of on the Coaches Show. Just an excellent chance to see the student athletes at work and getting an opportunity to showcase their craft and get themselves the positioning that they work so hard for. As you see, the results are clear for themselves. A chance to play for the state title. Excellent opportunity for those student athletes, as there are multiple programs on campus who have that pedigree and have that opportunity to get themselves there. You look at Fullerton College men's soccer, as we see in front of us, number 1 team in the state of California, number 2 team across the nation. Fullerton College football, more gridiron aspect of things. More gridiron aspect of things. They find themselves as the number 4 team in the state with one of the biggest games in recent memory coming up for the Hornets this Saturday. Left-hand side. Fullerton trying to chase after it. They won't get to it in time. And it will be a goal kick coming up. 10 minutes on the clock. We talk about that gridiron football game that's coming up on Saturday. Fullerton College football, not football, but football, will be playing for the conference championship. The Southern Division Conference Championship will be at Riverside. The reason why we call it the conference championship, though no, it doesn't have the official title as the conference championship. It is that way because both teams, doesn't matter. If you win, you have the tiebreaker and are the conference champion at the end of the season. It's incredibly important for Fullerton College football, the gridiron team, to have themselves a win and assure themselves a spot into the final, because if not, they're going to hope and pray that the additional help will be coming from Mount Sac in their matchup against Golden West College. So very simple. They play the number 2 team in the state of California and the number 3 team in the nation. Fullerton College against Riverside City College. That is Saturday at 12 p.m. So a lot of teams on campus getting a chance to play for a state championship or get an opportunity to get themselves in position to compete for a state title. Fullerton College all across being no different. Callahan off his shoulder. He's going to have to take possession of it again himself, but he gets that one taken away, and Abe is going to be called for a foul. Make that Victor Santana. 8:20 on the clock. Garrett Eicherman is going to step up to it. Looks like he's being told to just approach it and go for it. Takes a shot that ends up going well wide. Update, Saddleback and Santiago Canyon. It is Saddleback who has taken a 4-2 lead. They have expanded on their 3-2 advantage. So, for the moment being, Saddleback has themselves a win in their grasp if they can keep it. Eicherman takes it away. Fullerton can move up the park if Michelle can get it to it. And it goes over towards Marquez. Greg Aviles saying, hey, let's go forward. Doesn't matter where the pressure is. Let's go forward. Sherman. Now for McCormick. McCormick gets taken down, and it will be a throw-in going to Golden West College. Sun is setting here. Lights not going on because this one is going to finish in just a couple of moments. The twilight hours, if you will. Ball goes out. Fullerton will take away. Officials have a conversation. They change their mind. They switch it up. So as we mentioned, Saddleback 4, Santiago Canyon 2, which means that the Fullerton College Hornets, if the power points remain the same and they stay a 1-16 format, looks like Fullerton may face Saddleback here at Hal Scherbeck Field next week. But we will give you more of an update, more of an assured thing on our Instagram page at 90.1 KBPK. Swung towards the middle. Gorham is going to have to kick it away. He does so, and it actually goes off of Golden West and out. Centrella told, let's slow things down here for a shade. And he'll walk up to the ball. Mason Gorham finds the open guy in Michelle. Golden West is going to have to start pushing quickly. Only 5.5 left to play in this one as the ball goes over towards the far side of the park. Looped over. Now to the left. Goal kick coming up. What you may see is Barragan start to push up the field and get himself in a position to help move his team forward. Golden West with the loss and a win by Antelope Valley might see themselves out of the state playoff. They've got to get a couple of goals in the next 7-ish minutes. Off of a wrestler it goes. Now to Michel. Michel on the left-hand side. He finds the open guy. Olivas moves it up. Right side of the park. Goes to Ruben Rivera. Rivera with Centrella. Centrella sees his right. He's got Eicherman. Eicherman says, let me move forward. Get a guy going. Here's Michel. Michel trying to get that pass back. Doesn't end up working. Now on the left-hand side. Open and free. A little poker. Another chance. 3 opportunities on that left-hand side for Sean Callahan. And Callahan just couldn't get that one to go away. There's a shot. And the Hornets get another opportunity to make it 4-1, but they just couldn't capitalize on it. Golden West time is running out here. They've got to move quickly. It's 4 minutes left in this one. They will need help. As of right now, they are getting it from Irvine Valley. Irvine Valley has scored their second of the match, and they have made it 2-0. So Cypress, with the loss, almost assured to be eliminated from postseason contention. And if you are a Golden West fan, you are very happy with that score, as that is one team below you who isn't able to get themselves up above you with a win. For Golden West, they need Antelope Valley and LA Mission to lose now. Lose or draw. Here's Vieira. Vieira on the turn. Now Florian down the middle. Intercepted twice. Golden West has to replay. Golden West going to more of a long ball strategy. Just kind of kick it forward and hope you can gain possession or force someone else to make a mistake. And Fullerton College is more than happy with it, as they're just stepping in front of the passing lanes and taking the ball away. Thomas Gomez almost has that pass work for him. Now with Ruben Rivera. Rivera, left-hand side, Centrella trying to run towards it. Taken away by Golden West, and they will push it up the park. 2.5 minutes left to go in regulation. Vieira nearly gets that one taken away from him. And finally, it's brought over to Donovan Riley. Riley, the long golden locks, moving up the park. He's trying to establish position. Can't get over to the ball in time. Sean Allen does find someone. Middle of the frame, it goes to Lopez. Lopez looking for Riley. Riley's got to change his positioning, but he is offsides. Riley trying to retrieve the ball as quickly as possible and get it over to a teammate. Or excuse me, get it over to Fullerton College so they can hurry up. Minute 26 left to go in the first half of play, or excuse me, the second half of play. Fullerton will take possession of it. A final, Irvine Valley has beaten Cypress College 2-0, as the Cypress Chargers are essentially assured an elimination from playoff contention. They were very close. All they needed was a win today and a loss by Golden West or Saddleback, and they would have been right there in the conversation. But for Cypress, they are just going to hope and pray for the rest of the way. They did get the loss that they needed from Golden West, but they are going to need some help on the scoreboard tomorrow. Saddleback 5, Santiago Canyon 2. Saddleback's going to take away an available spot from other teams. So we come to the end of the season here with under a minute to play in regulation time in the 90. Gorham takes it. Gorham leaving it for a teammate. Fullerton will just sky that out of play. Middle of the frame, they look for a guy like Vieira, but instead it's taken away by Gorham. Gorham kicks it down. Gorham now with Centrella. Centrella able to take it away nicely. Centrella, middle of the park. He's got Thomas Gomez. Gomez looking for a guy on his right. Here's a chance and a goal! Fullerton College a tic-tac-toe opportunity, and the Fullerton College Hornets have scored once again to make it 4-1. And the Hornets offense gets into it once more. And it looks like it was Ricardo Michel who gets the goal. We'll get confirmation on that in just a little bit. So it is, in fact, Michel who ends up getting the goal. And for Ricardo, he gets himself on the board this season. And Fullerton is back underway. A 4-1 advantage for the Hornets. Golden West now looks like they're going to end up dropping this one. They had a lot of pressure here in the second half that not only gave them a goal, but it looked like 3 separate occasions they were very close to getting another one. You go back to that open opportunity for Melgoza that ended up being parried away by Floriano, and it gave Fullerton College a chance to stay at a 2-1 advantage. And what's so impressive about this, again, we talk about that depth scoring. This is Fullerton College playing against the ones for Golden West, and they have been able to successfully maneuver their way through the full 90, getting 3 different goals from guys that you would consider to be a part of that bunch of depth scoring that you need going into the state playoff. Chance for the Hornets. Now a breakaway. Barragan is going to pick that up. Official checking his watch. Shouldn't be too much extra time here, as there wasn't much of a stoppage during the entirety of this second half. Donovan Riley chasing after it. Goes past him. Hornets won't be able to keep that in, and it will be a throw-in now for Golden West College. Golden West left to right in the white uniforms. On the other side, Fullerton College in the navy blue. Starts to get to dusk here in Fullerton as it gets darker. This game about to finish pretty quickly here in a few moments. No lights on because this one's going to end in a moment. Let's go Fullerton is the chant from the bench over to our left. The 2023 Orange Empire Conference champion Fullerton College Hornets look like they're about to close on a 4-1 win over Golden West to finish off their regular season. Donovan Riley will watch it on as it goes to Floriano. Floriano, heavy kick over towards the left to Gomez. Gomez has a guy. He's got the right side of the park, but they've got to slow things down. Gomez can't get it back. Neil Sanchez is there. He has a goal this season. Lots of goal scorers for Fullerton all across the team, as Omar Ruiz gets that off the back of a rustler. And the Hornets only attacking with 2, but still getting pressure because Golden West is pushing up the field so much. Here's Florian. Florian has Riley. Florian looking towards the middle of the park. He's got Lopez. Lopez backpedaling for a second. They're going to give Golden West an extra opportunity to score here. Whistle is to the mouth of the official. Cleared away for a second, and he will call it. That's going to do it. Fullerton College 4-1 with the win. Fullerton College pretty much assures themselves a spot in the top 3 and will host as the CCCAA Southern California playoffs get set for next week. For Golden West College, it's a tough one to end up losing. They know that they're going to have to watch the scoreboard tomorrow and hope that they can get a lot of help from teams who weren't participating here today. But that's going to do it for us here on Futbol Fridays. The next time we will join you, it will be for the Fullerton College Hornets hosting a playoff game right here on KBPK. Go to our Instagram as we will let you know when the live stream will be and at what time as well at 90.1 KBPK. We will give you the live stream time, we will give you the date, and let you know when you can tune in to watch Fullerton College compete in the CCCAA SoCal Playoff. Until then, I'm Ryan Osborn, thanking you for joining us. 4-1, our final score. Fullerton College with the win over top of Golden West. You have been watching Futbol Fridays, but on a Thursday on KBPK.